And yes, I insist you sing along. Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all. I'm seeing you front row, you sing. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Liefeld, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he is a man. Punch, wears a birdie hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara. Coins, robots, Amazon trucks. Linkara. This comic sucks. Linkara. Dun. All right, I think we're ready now. After how many minutes now? All right. Did I just wait for the people there to sit down first? Let's just keep waiting. The anticipation is what makes it great. All right. Hello and welcome to Survival of Atop the Fourth Wall Live. If this is your first time seeing Atop the Fourth Wall, either in live or recorded form, well, I don't blame you, since nobody else watches it either. As you can tell, I am reading from a script, but I apologize in advance if I stutter or slur my words. And I know that a lot of you can get excited during these live shows and want to call out your own jokes, but before you do, just remember, I'm recording this. So if you're not funny, you're being not funny in front of thousands of people. Either bring the funny or you get to be ridiculed by commenters on the internet.
No.
So anyway, last Wednesday, we had quite a few things to celebrate. There was the late, great Jack Kirby's birthday, the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, but I think we all know what was really important. The 20th anniversary of a children's show about people in spandex hitting rubber-suited monsters upon the direction of a giant floating head in a tube who's apparently a wizard or something. Or an alien, they kind of retconned that later. But yes, the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers. And hey, I reviewed a Power Rangers comic last year at Metacon, and we've got some Power Rangers here too, so why not do another one? Yeah. Unfortunately, there aren't any Time Force comics, so let's yet again go back to the beginning. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Saga. It's a retelling of the story of Power Rangers up to that point. So basically history of Power Rangers in comic form, except for the better release schedule. And let's look at the cover, which features the Rangers watching a Red Ranger bendy doll leaping out of the viewing globe. Okay, I've got to admit, I am intrigued by the concept of the Power Rangers toys coming to life, though I'm just wondering how the fishbowl enters into this. Actually, here's a thought. Is the viewing globe actually some kind of cake, and the Red Ranger is a stripper emerging from it? Certainly would explain their expressions on this cover. We open with a giant green gopher with boxing gloves punching the Thunder Megazord. Dear Lord, I love Power Rangers. Dear Strong Bad, how do you punch with boxing gloves? Oh wait, that one doesn't work, does it? We see that Alpha and Zordon are watching on the viewing globe. It's over, Zordon! The Power Rangers have destroyed Lord Zed's latest monster! And I made sure to record it so we can edit it into a clip show later.
Yes, Alpha. Once again, they have proven themselves worthy of the great power that has been granted to them. Also, down in front, you little pipsqueak, I'm trying to watch this.
Zordon says that it's now time to record the saga of the Power Rangers.
So in millennia to come, all who would aspire to heroic perfection may draw inspiration from their mighty deeds. Also because we'll make a killing selling these DVDs.
Script.
Open your memory banks, Alpha, and save these words and images for all time.
Yeah, I thought I was kidding about that clip show joke, didn't you?
It began the day humans first set foot on a nearby planet.
Unless you actually watched the show, in which case it was the moon. And indeed, the astronauts land on a planet made of guacamole. Hey, look at that! What do you think it is? Looks like a giant space dumpster. Or a giant roulette wheel. Seriously, this has always bugged me. Have you ever seen a dumpster that was yellow, cylindrical, and had jewels on top of it? I'd even accept a garbage can, but why even say that? Why not just a pod, or a capsule, or a giant sippy cup? Let's open it up! Yes, because as science fiction has taught us, the very first thing you should do when on an alien planet and discover a strange container is open it up and take a peek. That can only result in good. And who'd have thunk it? They open it up and a bunch of creatures are freed from it. Let's get out of here! Ah, the brave NASA astronauts, everyone. And now you know why the space program doesn't get any support anymore. Rita and her minions emerge. Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free! Clear the bathroom, I'm going in! Don't leave! You'll miss my coming out party! Well, you know, she didn't seem that enthusiastic about the marriage to Lord Zed at first, so this would explain a lot. We cut to Earth, where there is apparently a radio broadcast occurring. It's a stupendous Saturday in Angel Grove. A big hello goes out to Ernie and the kids at the Angel Grove Youth Center Gym and Juice Bar. Keep those fruit shakes flowing, Ernie. Ernie paid handsomely for that ad and never regretted a second of it. That being said, it's not like he needed the press. This is Angel Grove. The city's so poorly run that its only functioning business is a juice bar. We see our heroes practicing gymnastics and Billy preparing for his first karate class.
Listen up, everybody. What do the martial arts help us develop?
Ooh, I know! The ability to hit things and very impressively break wooden boards, even though the wooden boards probably didn't deserve it. And Jason begins the class. Okay, 1, 2, skip to my loo. From above, Rita is looking through her telescope. Yes, I like it! I will enroll in this karate class!
Rita had lost no time constructing her fortress on Earth's moon.
Come to think of it, there's something we don't really think about that much. Rita just had a palace ready for her with a foundry and everything for making putties and stuff. You know, the minions Squad and Babu didn't really do anything else in the series. Maybe they were actually expert carpenters and engineers. Back on Earth, the greatest heroes of the Power Rangers franchise, Bulk and Skull, arrived to be bullies.
Hey, dweebs, teach us how to beat people up.
Yeah, beat them up!
Martial arts was not developed to hurt others, Bulk, even though that's pretty much what we use it for.
When Bulk says he could take Jason on in some advanced training, we get these 3 panels, which apparently indicate that Jason is spinning around in a circle like a drunken ballerina. Bulk is aggressively walking towards Jason, and finally that Bulk can apparently fly and spin around. It's a Bulknado! After an earthquake hits, Alpha and Zordon watch themselves on the viewing globe now. Did they even get Netflix on that thing?
Alpha, Rita has escaped. Teleport to us 5 overbearing and over-emotional human beings.
Oh no, not that!
That's right, Alpha. 5 hipsters with psychological problems.
And so our heroes get teleported. So there's this often repeated joke about the fact that they made the Yellow Ranger Asian and the Black Ranger black, but we all know that's just an accident and nobody realized what they had done until like 10 episodes in. Except the makers of this comic, who apparently decided that Zack got the black energy teleport field to differentiate him from the others. The teens arrive in the command center and naturally just start pushing buttons. No, don't touch that dial! Ay! Oh, good one, guys. You just blew up half of California, redirected fault lines, and you accidentally erased Alpha's saved games. Zordon appears, and the teens ask what the hell is going on.
It's quite simple. This planet is under attack, and I have brought you here to save it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Ah, a non-believer. You will worship at the foot of my tube, you pipsqueak. You don't want to believe? You don't want to believe? Who's the big giant head in the room, huh? You have been chosen to form an elite team to battle Rita. Each will receive extraordinary powers drawn from ancient creatures, like the dodo, or perhaps an extinct species of dung beetle or gopher. Behold the keys to your power. When in danger, raise these power coins to the sky, calling the name of your creature. The coins are also good for 10 free games at Dave & Buster's.
After explaining which animal they get and about the Megazord, they're a bit weirded out and decide to leave.
Very well then. Then let the power protect you.
That didn't go very well, did it?
Don't worry, Alpha. Just wait until they find out I slashed their tires. They aren't going anywhere.
Rita has been observing this somehow and orders Finster to release some putties down to get the teens. Rita Repulsa was the inspiration for Rear Window. The Rangers begin walking out, of course being out in the middle of the desert.
Guys, we shouldn't have left. He chose us to save the world. I say we do it.
Do you really think we can? You guys don't know what you're talking about. We were talking to a giant floating head. No joke or anything, I just love that line. It's awesome that they were at least self-aware enough to realize how friggin' insane this concept is. Get down! What's that? Look out! Oh no, they've come to tell us about Scientology! After the putties beat them up, Jason says that the morphers should give them power, and thus we have the first morphing sequence, providing padding to every episode ever. Zordon, they've done it! They've made the metamorphosis! Well, except for Jason, his pants are on backwards, but still!
Good. Teleport them to Angel Grove City. Rita has sent down Goldar.
But Zordon, aren't they in the middle of a battle? I mean, won't the putties attack us if the Rangers are gone?
Well, shut up and do what I say, or you'll find out what happened to Alphas 1 through 4.
So the Rangers teleport into the city, which is basically just a featureless void here, and fighting continues. That does kind of describe Angel Grove, doesn't it? We even get to see the putties getting smashed. Ah, delicious ultra-violence. Finster! Those stupid putties are getting whipped by a bunch of kids! They're pathetic! Well, Rita, this is why you don't go for the lowest bidder. Plus, you're doing this all wrong. As a manager, you should be encouraging your employees. This is just going to create a hostile work environment and affect core synergy. How are you ever going to get ISO 9000 certified with that attitude, Rita? So Rita tosses down her magic wand and makes Goldar grow. Now, in the original episode, the Rangers said all this stuff like, the good guys are here and we're the Power Rangers on the roof of a building. In this comic, they're in front of Goldar on the ground, meaning that this franchise could have been over before it started if he had just stepped on them. This is not going to look good on your performance evaluation, Goldar. The Rangers call upon their Zords and realize that they instinctively know how to operate them. It almost seems like second nature to me.
Those little punks don't realize that their helmets have those control chips implanted in their brains. The non-believers will never question me again. All hail the big giant head!
And just to further highlight Goldar's uselessness in this fight, the Megazord slashes him once and he's instantly running away. I'm starting to think Goldar was in the dumpster just to keep him out of everybody's way. Afterwards, Zordon is congratulating the team.
As Power Rangers, you must follow 3 rules or lose the protection of the power.
Yeah, don't worry everybody, I got this. Rule number 1, the doctor lies. Rule number 2, always be closing. And number 3, don't feed them after midnight. I like recording the Power Rangers history, Zordon. It brings back many good memories.
Yes, Alpha. If only some overweight nerd in Minnesota made a series about this history that he rarely ever updated. And indeed, their victories are many. King Sphinx, the Tickle Sneezer, the Tickle Sneezer was a dream, Zordon. Are you monitoring the Rangers' dreams? Pervert. Although, regrettably, some relatively minor property damage has occurred.
Yeah, like those buildings that the Megazord sometimes falls on top of. Only minor damage. Yeah, it's like saying the property damage in Man of Steel only caused a little bit of litter.
Indeed, it appeared no menace was beyond the ability of the Power Rangers to meet and nullify, until the day Tommy transferred to Angel Grove High School. We were powerless before his ability to draw high Nielsen ratings.
And thus we get the story of Tommy, the Green Ranger, starting with how his martial arts fight with Jason ended in a draw. Because that's totally how that works. At school, Kimberly is especially impressed with Tommy, as you can see here as she twirls her hair like she was in an 80s teen movie. Let's just say that she wants to form the Megazord with Tommy. To test Tommy, Rita unleashes a squad of putties on him. These same putties that she said earlier were pathetic. Once again, Rita, you're sending mixed messages to your employees. How are you going to meet that sales quota if you don't have a consistent mission statement? Rita hands Tommy the Green Ranger power coin after brainwashing him. Although this begs the question of how the hell she could ever lose if she could just kidnap the teens and brainwash them to work for her anyway. So Tommy, as the Green Ranger, arrives at the command center, disables Alpha, then rips the place apart, expressing the same feelings that a lot of people do when trying to repair their own computers without any prior experience. Alpha tries to get a message to the Rangers, but the damage to the command center has taken out their teleportation capability. As such, they have only one way of getting there. My friends, let me introduce you to the Rad Bug. It's a Volkswagen Beetle with a steam pipe on top of it that can fly. And apparently the comic decided that concept wasn't stupidly awesome enough, so instead of the gray it's painted in the show, it's a bright hot rod red. Nice. The teens arrive at the command center and find the place in shambles. What happened to Alpha? Someone must have fed a virus into his computer banks. Quick, somebody activate McAfee antivirus! Oh no, it only made it worse! The Rangers fix Alpha enough to partially function while they head off to fight Goldar, who's much more impressive this time. This time he doesn't wet himself when he runs away. Not kidding either, because Goldar immediately teleports away so the Green Ranger can get inside the Megazord and beat them all up. Ah, Goldar, displaying the same dignity that would eventually lead his memory to be wiped so that he would become Bulk and Skull's maid. So the Rangers get tossed out of the Megazord, and Tommy kicks their asses again, which earns him the Sword of Darkness. In the show, despite the fact that he gets the Sword of Darkness after he's been brainwashed, destroying said sword is how they free Tommy from mind control. Makes about as much sense as Rita's hair cone things. The next day, Jason gets taken by Tommy, because I guess being evil gives you superpowers or something. At the command center, they try to re-establish contact with Zordon.
Ranger, beware!
So it sounds like he was saying they should beware of the Green Ranger. Thanks for that helpful advice, Zordon. This is why you were the best mentor ever. So apparently the history also decided to skip over Scorpina and the Megazord getting its ass kicked by a giant Green Ranger, since instead they just teleport Jason out of where he was taken before the Green Ranger can stab him. And so our comic ends with them finding out who the Green Ranger is. Tommy! Oh my God, it was Old Man Tommy, the guy who runs the haunted amusement park! Well, good job, gang. He would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you pesky teenagers and your robot and your giant mecha and your big giant alien wizard head. This comic is just... It's basically a shortened recap of the first 18 or so Power Rangers episodes, summarizing most of their monster battles, and it didn't end here. Power Rangers Saga only lasted 3 issues, getting up to when Tommy became the White Ranger, but it was intended to last 6. At the end of the 3rd issue, the writer actually detailed his plans with the book to explore something that I've only joked about before: collateral damage caused by the Rangers' battles. A guy in the background of some scenes named Jim owns a restaurant supply company that keeps getting screwed over by the battles, which causes the Rangers to wonder if they're not doing more harm to Angel Grove, if Zordon should have chosen kids from another city, etc., etc. You'd see families whose homes were destroyed by giant monster battles, genuine danger for people's lives. It's a legitimate concern. But by that same token, they'd also see a what-if kind of thing where, without the Rangers to stop the attacks, how devastated the Earth would be by comparison. It's kind of thought-provoking stuff, especially something that's not really talked about often in superhero comics, or it's just brushed over. It could have been potentially thoughtful stuff for a kid's show. But then Hamilton Comics lost the license to Marvel, and instead we had Internet Festival 95. And we get to learn about how awesome a computer modem is in comparison to a cordless phone. Also, Bulk and Skull is black guys for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I've got, so thank you, everybody.
It's still blinking.
What are your thoughts on Lobo's new 52 design?
That outfit, what is wrong with them? The entire point of Lobo is that he's supposed to be an exaggerated, over-the-top version of 90s style superheroes and grim and gritty and leather jackets and whatnot. So let's make him a really slim teeny bopper with who's supposed to be pretty. It's awful. It's just awful. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Next. Sure.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Bad Comics. Have you read Wildstorm's take on Resident Evil?
You're a fan of the Bad Comics?
No, I said if you are.
Oh. What was I reading here?
Wildstorm's take on Resident Evil.
I have not. I think I have a couple of copies of it, though. I think you see them in Long Box of the Damned episodes sometimes. But otherwise, no, I haven't actually read them. Mostly because I'm not really a Resident Evil fan. To me, I always like Silent Hill more because I like psychological stuff more than corporate goons and their bizarre virus and their weird business practices of creating viruses and unleashing them on populations. I don't get how the hell does the Umbrella Corporation function? you gotta think their shares are really down after the first few incidents. But anyway, yeah, I haven't read them. I prefer Silent Hill. There you go.
Have you ever read Bearmageddon?
No, but I think I own a copy of it. I think there's also like a shark bear thing.
There's the Octo Bear, which is a bear octopus. It just kind of seems like something right up your alley.
God, I love high concept. In the back there.
So, you recently did a series of reviews on the 2099 series, but I noticed that you didn't do a review of X-Men 2099, and I was curious if that was because you didn't own X-Men 2099.
No, I own X-Men 2099. I actually have a lot of 2099 books. People have been donating them to me over the last few years. The reason I didn't do X-Men 2099 was because I wanted to focus on the very first 4 2099 books that came out. Primarily because, well, the idea was this is how they introduced this new line to us with 4 very different sort of books. But they all were tied together. So that's why I didn't do that. Actually, originally I was going to do Hulk 2099, but then it turns out his first appearance was in someone else's comic. So, yeah, that's why.
You just completely took away my ability to give you my collection of X-Men 2099.
Everyone wants
I'll take him.
You'll take it. This is a thing. The reason why I don't give out my PO box so people can just donate whenever they want, which I really should just at this point, is because I fully expect people to just dump their entire comics collection on me. And I don't have that much room in my apartment. They usually end up in the trash sometimes, and that's a no-no. Mostly because I don't have the time to go out to a Goodwill or go out to a library or Salvation Army or something, which I really should be doing with the comics, but at the same token, I don't want to give them bad comics. So anyway, next. One second. You all shut up back there! Anyway, continue. It varies a bit. I mean, Bimbos in Time originally was one of the big ones, mostly because. But then I didn't actually directly talk to the guy, but he works with Brad Jones. So the guy, Todd Sheets, he worked with Brad Jones, and he explained that they created Bimbos in Time with the express purpose of making it the worst comic ever. So high marks there, because. But then you get stuff like Marvel, which was more like a vanity kind of a project, with Bill Jemas just trying to explore his own personal thoughts on this stuff very badly. Thoughts on God and the universe and how Wolverine was the first human being. Yeah, I encountered some weird stuff if you've never seen the show before. But otherwise, a lot of times I really am just thinking that. Cry for Justice especially, that they released the first issue with the characters acting completely idiotic and just yelling, "Justice!" like every 5 panels, and then you just wonder, what the hell was the editor doing? Did they like look at the script and just like, well, I'm getting high. It'll all make sense to me then. But no, I don't know what goes through their heads sometimes. I really would love to ask, some people this sometime. Just like get questions to them and like wonder. Like there was like that with Scott Siensen who did the Silent Hill comics. I really want to know what the hell was the thought process. Not even in a insult him kind of way. I really want to know what was he thinking with those things. That kind of thing. Terry, you asked me. You pick someone.
Have you ever read or heard about the incredibly strange Bobby Batman team-up comics from the 60s?
Yes, I mean stuff like where he teamed up with Sherlock Holmes or Bob Hope or I think he teamed up with Bob Hope one time. Or Superman and Muhammad Ali. I need to do that one because it's actually not a bad comic. It's just weird. I think Muhammad Ali does knock out Superman. I think he like exposed to kryptonite or something at the time, but still awesome. Let's go the Celtic Guardian in the back there.
Thank you. This one is just a costume thing, because I'm having problems with my Spartan suit. What did you use for Lord Vice's visor? So it was visible like one way.
I think I used like a eye shield.
Nice. Where do you get those?
You can get those on eBay. They're for football helmets. And you can get them in any color. They come in metallic colors or mirrored or something. So and they're just like little bits of plastic that go over the front of the helmet. And you can.
How did you come up with that idea?
I don't know. I was just looking for helmets on eBay and seeing if I could find something like, oh, there's these eye shields. I can use that shit.
Thanks.
I think they're about $20 or so.
What else did you make Lord Vice armor out of? Just so.
Styrene plastic. God, it's so long ago. I made so many things since then. I mean, there was a football helmet. It was a motorcycle helmet.
It was pink.
And it was pink. And I painted that. And then for the rest, I used like styrene. I think I coated with vinyl.
And I think crack foam too.
And crack foam. Crack foam coated with styrene plastic. On my website, I do sell styrene because it's kind of hard thing to get a hold of because I have to buy it in bulk from a company that only sells to other companies, and I just buy it like 100, 10 sheets at a time, and just cut up the sheets and sell them directly. So if you're interested, you should have my contact information on the website if you want to order something. And you can also find some styrene, like signage. You can find that at hardware stores. They'll sell garage sale signs and things like that, which is basically just plastic. It only comes in like this size, but if you need it for small projects, you can buy a plastic directly from the hardware store. Sorry, I hope I'm not go right into.
You're fine. I was just like mystified because I've never seen a VGA cable with a sound input with it. It's all one. What mutant abomination is this? Anyway, you.
You really don't like it now when it makes a picture of people.
I have never seen Les Mis. I know that's weird because I did that song, but the thing is, Doug writes what he knows and then expects us to act it out for him. So, and it was perfectly okay. I was perfectly happy to do it, but he's got a point though. Doing a song in one take is not that impressive when you consider that Broadway actors have to do it every night. Now, you do some like long camera shots where like things are moving around and you need perfectly staged choreography. That's impressive. Having the camera right in front of your face and singing for 4 minutes, not really that big a deal. I could do that right now. And then Sci-Fi Guy could interrupt and take his iPod and then rip off the black. We did like 8 takes of that. Because we kept coming up with new ideas to do with that. Originally, he was just supposed to step in and I was supposed to like just toss him aside. I have my food. Thank you. I can't. So I'm going to eat right now. No. Well, anyway, what we're going to No, so we did like 8 takes of that. And so we just kept coming up with new ideas like, okay, why is a sci-fi guy still in the frame and I keep pushing him out? Oh, we got our hands tangled together like in the iPod. Okay, you know what would be great if when we pushed him aside, he ripped off the curtain in the background. And then I'll like put the curtain over myself and look like all dramatic. And then of course, sci-fi guy coming on one last time. Get in the corner! That was a lot of fun. Shoot. I'm going through puberty now. Like 20 years too late. Anyway, sir.
Yeah, there have been a lot of really great film adaptations of comic books, but lots of really crappy ones too. And I'm just curious, what do you think makes for a really good film adaptation of a comic book?
Well, here's the interesting thing. Superhero movies are not actually adaptations of comic books as much as they are adaptations of concepts behind them. The version of Avengers that you saw in theaters is not the first Avengers comic, which I'll be doing eventually for Secret Origins Month. But of course they have to modernize it. They have to do their own things, what properties they think will actually be useful to them. Then you get something like Watchmen, which is a more direct adaptation of the material. But of course, the director picked and chose what he thought audiences would believe and what they didn't believe. And of course, if you look back like several years, you remember my rant about there not being the squid in the movie. And why not? We can accept giant blue penises, we can't accept squids. But it's hard to say. Sometimes dialogue, especially in older comics, is very stilted. Doesn't make much sense when you actually speak it out loud. But as long as you get the core ideas across, I think it tends to work. I think V for Vendetta was a horrible adaptation of the material because it missed the point. In their attempt to modernize it, they missed the entire message of the thing, which Alan Moore still resonates with his message today, of it being about fascism versus anarchy versus right-wing politics in America. So, yeah, it's a slippery slope depending on what you're trying to do with it. Yeah, you behind me.
For someone who's never read a comic before, what is one comic book you would show them to introduce them?
I hate this question. Because there is no one single comic that would get people to read comics. I made a huge list on my blog of comic recommendations for people strictly for the purpose of check these out, I think they are good. In the end, it comes down to if the story itself is good, if the artwork is decent, that's all you need. That should get people reading comics to begin with. Because there's nothing about the medium itself that prohibits people from reading them. There's the long time continuity that can scare people away, but by that same token, other people will be encouraged by it, and they're like, oh man, I want to read all this. This sounds like an awesome story. I want to see what happened here. And that's what happened with me, which is why I always recommend my favorite comic of all time, JLA/Titans, The Technis Imperative, which I think is the best comic ever made. And I reviewed it once, so go check that out if you haven't seen that episode already. It is lots of continuity in it, but it's the kind of continuity that makes you want to read more. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. Anyway, questions? You in the back.
Alright, I came in a little late, so I might have missed it. Ben Affleck is Batman.
Yeah, you missed that. I talked about that already. Also, are you dressed as, what's his name? Hunter S. Thompson? That's awesome. Anyway,
you have very good speaking skills.
No, I don't. As it happens, I was in the speech team back in high school. Well, as you may have noticed, I lisp, I stutter, I slur, I say things like this. I say rum instead of room. But the thing is, especially when talking to large crowds, it's about being a commanding presence, being entertaining, and basically acting as if you own the place. It always works. I own this place. You're all paying attention to me. I love how public speaking is actually the #1 fear in the world. It's not death. It's not like airplanes or terrorism. No, it's speaking in public. Because all of you are just focusing on them, and then you do something really embarrassing, like review a comic and it's not funny. I always worry about the live shows not bringing the funny, and as I was doing this, I'm just like, oh my god, am I failing here because people aren't laughing at the jokes? But even then, as that happens, even if you guys didn't find it funny, I have to move forward and keep the show going, because otherwise it's just going to be a pathetic, God, I'm so sorry! Why did you even come here? But yes, I really encourage Speech Team, because Speech Team was awesome. Anyway.
So yeah, this guy's been holding his hand up the whole time.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was just wondering, as you were talking with Doug earlier, is anyone else from your guys' site coming to one of these conventions in Minnesota?
Well, I really wish they would. A lot of the time, it really comes down to you have to invite us. Because we can't afford to go to conventions on their own. With me, the reason I come here is because I'm local. I live in Minnesota, so this is like a 20-minute drive for me. I'm more than happy to come here, sell DVDs, which, by the way, after this, she's going to change into a costume. Should be, that's what that is? Or do you want it to be a surprise?
Well, I'd like it to be a surprise. I'd like it to be a surprise after 10,000 years!
And of course, I'll get in the rest of my 7th Doctor outfit as well. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go into the dealer's room. I am going to sell DVDs and badges and whatnot, and you should come and buy them because I want money. Otherwise, yeah, I really wish they would come out here. Little Kariba was at Metacon last year and was at Anime Minneapolis a few weeks ago, which, technically not part of that guy with the glasses, but he's funnier than me. So yes, it really comes down to conventions. Invite us, pay for hotel and airfare, that's all we want, and we will come. There you go. What else we got? Sir.
Using your criteria on, like you mentioned about or movies based on like comic book material, what would you have to say is your least favorite movie?
My least favorite comic to movie adaptation?
Yeah.
Daredevil, yeah, that's one of them. I've never I liked the first 2 X-Men movies when I first saw them. I actually liked the third one too. But then you actually watch them later on, you're like, these are stupid. I still haven't seen First Class or Wolverine Origins, but I don't think I really need to see Wolverine Origins. I didn't miss much, no. Let's see, there's the Daredevil, V for Vendetta I mentioned. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is stupid, but kind of awesome. So yeah, there's ups and downs for them. I didn't like The Amazing Spider-Man, but that's because I didn't feel the need to reboot it after only less than 10 years. I liked Spider-Man 3. You may all throw your tomatoes down. Yeah, Ang Lee's Hulk was stupid. The poodles. Anyway, next.
In regards to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, actually, what do you think of the fact that Fox is currently doing a TV series based off?
Still not gonna. Really, a TV series? Do they read the comic? Mr. Hyde rapes the Invisible Man. Yeah, they left that out of the movie. Probably for the best too, but still. For God's sake. Well, anyway, they say they're developing it again. Show me a trailer. Over there. Yes, sir.
I've been wanting to get into some anime.
What you should really look for is my giant-sized man thing. That joke will never get old. I actually am very not familiar at all with Man Thing. Swamp Thing, though. Swamp Thing is cool. You should read that.
Yeah, I got Saga. Great book.
Very good book. Way over there in the green shirt. Not really. Usually I'm first on board with that. I mean, the only things that really make the exception to that are like humor stuff. I was actually very reluctant to review Power Pachyderms, despite everybody wanting me to review it, because it's a joke. It's not a funny joke, but it's just a joke. It's not meant to be taken like in any way seriously, but enough people demanded it, why not finally do it? And I think I actually managed to get a few good jokes out of that, despite it being Stupid. Anyway, how much time do we have left? It's actually time. So that was the last question. Thank you everybody for coming out here and supporting Live Demos.